Welcome to another video. Today we're going to play with some more electronics. We have a box here, we have some Rust-Oleum paint, and we have a doorbell, rain sensor, and a box full of other bits and pieces. We are upgrading my mailbox, and in the process I hope to have it notify me via a doorbell when there's mail. And also it needs repainting and a lot of re-engineering. It's in a pretty sorry state. So we have these ESP32 Wi-Fi boards. They have an ESP12F module on here, 2 relays and some I/O ports. I hope to make one of these operate as the doorbell trigger and also have a flashing light on the end here, so that my surveillance cameras, if I haven't heard the doorbell, can see the flashing light. It's kind of the equivalent of the American system where they raise a flag when there's mail in there, or you raise a flag to tell the postie that there is mail. Here, the posties don't take mail from your mailbox, not that I'm aware of anyway. So it's not really a done thing here, but hopefully this could automate the process. I may be able to do some fancy stuff like have it send me an email and stuff like that when I'm not here. Now, I already use one of these doorbells just with 2 receivers on my perimeter beam, which is an infrared beam that detects when people cross onto my property. Anyway, so I wonder if this is on the same encoding. No, good, it's on a different code strapping. I don't need to change the encoding in it. There's usually some little dip switches in here that do that. Right, screw completely removed and stuck on a magnet. Now we should be able to get in under this clip and separate the 2 halves. Right, a little bit of brute force is all it took. There's our doorbell module with our 12-volt battery, which is now out. And we can remove 2 screws and the whole module will come out, which should give us access to the button contacts, which should then allow us to solder some wires to it and then back to the relays on the board. Don't want that glued down and we don't want to mess with it, so we're going to chop the boss off that it's glued to, keeping our antenna still in the correct tuning, hopefully. So from here we have this open. This little tactile switch here, we can solder between these 2 pins. Usually this side's more accessible because these 2 ones are common. It's just a flex disc over the top. We then wire that into relay input of this. And yes, I can use a relay card with opto couplers to do the same thing, but this is all built in one board and I have a couple spare, so this is what's going to happen. Right, so I had hoped to use a bunch of different things. Now this is where I pay homage to a long-time subscriber, Tom Scott. Now I was going to use this infrared obstacle avoidance sensor in the mailbox to detect when there's mail in there. I had a few ideas on how that might work. I went looking for how to use these things because they're not as straightforward as just plug them in and wait for the output. You do need to like disconnect this enable jumper, and then you need to pulse them no more than 2 milliseconds at a time, and a whole bunch of other crap. I went looking on the forums. I found a whole forum where there was some detailed advice on how to use these. You want to know whose name popped up? It was Tom Scott. So yeah, he's been doing this a long time, and he's been a long time subscriber on the channel. So definitely want to say thank you to Tom Scott. I did consult your advice very heavily on how to operate these. The conclusion I came to, keeping things simple is better. So I went to a micro switch, which I'm just going to hook on the flap in the mailbox. Sure, there could be some false triggers, but there's enough slack in here to kind of deal with that. I can just put a spring in there. So we're going to go with a contact closure on the door in the mailbox and use a micro switch. So yeah. All right, making a little bit of progress now. Our relay's hooked up to relay 2 for our flashing LED, relay 1 for doorbell sensor, full bridge rectifier in here so we don't have to worry about polarity. We'll be going 12 volts in here soon. That'll bring it down to 5 volts for all of that. 12 volts goes straight to that as well. Okay. Alright, it is finally test run time. We're going to plug in a couple of connections to the house battery over here for one moment. Then we're going to bring these 2 connections over to here. Let's check our house battery voltage is 12.1 at the moment. Polarity doesn't matter because we're running it through a bridge rectifier. So we're going to shove a couple in here. This is reset button I haven't yet connected. Now all of these should go through a bridge rectifier. Let's see how we go. Oh, Oh, we had a short circuit there. Okay.
A few moments later.
Alright, quick alteration later. And yes, it's been a while since I've worked with this package of bridge rectifiers, and there's a bit of solder there to pop out. So, AC goes in opposite corners, DC comes out those corners. The red one is the positive. So I had AC in those corners, which puts it directly across the diode. I just happened to pick a polarity that shorts things out better than dumping 12 volts where it didn't belong. So let's try now. I'm going to pick a random input and hope, you know what, I'm going to turn the power on this way, and I'm just going to quickly touch. Okay, things lit up properly. Okay, there we go. So that works. So it's going to push that. Is our light on the front going to flash? Alright, so we have flashing light, we have doorbell working. Now really all that remains is to hook up the limit switch and also some programming. That's good. Alright, so we have the doorbell component mostly assembled. I've got some programming to come. I may even throw in something that'll get onto the internet using the Wi-Fi module and check the time, work out the date from epoch time, and also send me an email that we have mail. And then I'll get Outlook to have a sound effect that says, "You've got mail." Anyway, I'll attach this later once we do the doorbell assembly. But yes, I'll do a little bit of programming later on. I can't handle it tonight. It's about 9 p.m, which won't sound too late for most people, but I have to be up at like 6 or 7 in the morning. The local RAF is doing a Freedom of City march, and I want to see it. So it's been a very long time since it happened, and the mayor is a mate of mine, so I want to see the mayor actually march in full regalia as well. So yeah, I've got to get up for all of that, and we'll see you at some point in the future.
The next morning.
The 4th 19th Prince of Wales Light Horse Regiment, exercising its privilege and right to pass through the city of Sale, with sabres drawn, bayonets fixed, band playing, drums beating, banners flying.
I acknowledge your right and privilege. Pass forth 19th Prince of Wales Light Horse with the mayors, the councils and the citizens of Sale Authority.
Hours later.
Alright, this is my mailbox that's seen better days. It was an old electrical junction box. We're going to remove that off the pole, and we're going to use our GoPro at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a hazard for the posties eventually. We need to do something about this. And yes, I can hear you in the back row there going, you could just shove a screwdriver in it. And yes, I did intentionally snap the center pin out a while ago, so I could do just that. Alright, we can lift the lid now. A couple of screws to remove. Here we go, here. It's been a while, and there are nuts underneath that I may lose if I'm not careful. Don't really want to lose my nuts. Here, that I need to remove. Well, this used to be MDF. It actually lasted considerably longer than I would have thought. It painted MDF. This is going to be windy and noisy and difficult to film, so I'm probably just going to spray this thing down with this off camera. Right, we'll see how we go with the first squirts of paint. This one's actually going to look alright. It looks like a fairly thick paint. I think it'll be good.
20 minutes later.
Well, it's certainly going to look a little less ratty than it used to, and I think camouflage green is probably not a great idea to go. That's why people had trouble finding our mailbox. So yeah, I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes. I'm going to give it another coat, then we'll flip it over and do the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to go to the shed, turn a few things on, namely workshop computer. I'll see if I have the files from the old door system that I come up with. I'm likely going to have to redesign that. I was doing a little bit of stuff in the laser cutter here. We'll have to take some of that out. I will need some air and some air compressor, and apparently I have a power point to fix as well. I've got to work out what's got to be plugged in there. I may fix that in a minute. Anyway, we're going to fire this up. We're going to get air compressor compressing air, and we should be right. Alright, I couldn't find my original, so I did a quick little sketch, drew up another facade. Should drop on. I found some spare black acrylic, which is 3mm acrylic, pretty much the same as this stuff. This has got the scratch guard on it. It's just black, so that should look good. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the flap on the inside yet. I'll work that out a little bit later. Right, we have a spare piece on the top here. We'll use that for something else later. This is going to need the scratch guard removed. There we go. I took the top layer off to laser cut. The bottom layer should pull all the holes out. Good, there's a little bit of statically charged dust on there. Now for the inside flap, I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, but I thought maybe I can have this swinging on some chains inside somehow. I don't know yet. The last few times I tried to come up with a solution for that, it wasn't great, and it all broke. So this will hopefully be more weather resistant, being acrylic, and we'll try and like mount that on something, and then I'll work out how the micro switch will work. Anyway, hopefully the paint is tack dry and I can put this on the front now. And there's a local wattle bird here. He always gets grumpy when I go past and don't pay him the household tax. Here you go, dude. Here you go. You alright? It's okay. I know I've got a camera in your face. It's okay. Come on, I'll back up a bit. Grab a bit. There you go. Alright, I'm going to go inside. I've got stuff to do. Alright, we're actually writing code now. Like 7 iterations in. But we're there. I don't think it'll correct for daylight savings time. That won't be a problem for just the moment. We'll get it working, and then we'll work on the rest. Okay, I've got some preliminary code loaded on. At the moment, it won't do the detection until Wi-Fi works. I'm going to make it skip the Wi-Fi so it can immediately function, even if that's not a thing. But for the moment, this is just an auxiliary thing. It doesn't have to happen. Yeah, it's getting there. I'm going to check on the mailbox. The paint may have dried enough to handle it. I don't know yet. We'll see. But the rain's gone away and it's come out sunny, so we might move the mailbox into the sun. We'll see what happens. Now there's one oversight I could have made with this. I could have just taken that whole panel off when I first built this. I don't recall why I didn't do that. So hopefully this will fit over here and I judge my hole spacings right. I have some 3mm nuts and bolts. Still using self-tapping screws, which left a sharp point on the inside last time. Using 3mm. Now if I use some that are a little bit longer, I might have an attachment point for chains and the flap and stuff on the inside. We'll figure it out. Alright, we have a flap that sort of works. I need to put a weight on it so it shuts down properly. The problem with dealing with all this stuff when it's in a high static environment is dust sticks to it. It's horrible with glossy stuff, but I'll put 3 springs in the top here. It can bend up, it can move a bit, it's got some variation. I had to take a chunk out of the corner to miss that mounting bolt that I thought was going to be a problem. But it's working. Not sure how I'm going to handle detection yet, whether it be with a micro switch, a reed switch and a magnet maybe in the side. I'm going to work that out a little bit later. This is going to get put back in service before I wire up the switching, but it will be nice. I'm not sure if that will be in this video or a different one. we'll work it out. But for now, I'm going to find myself a weight to attach to the bottom of that. Alright, so at this point, some of you may be asking why on the outside, not on the inside. Well, metal box acts like a Faraday cage. Wi-Fi no working inside Faraday cage. Plastic box, not a problem. And this also now means I've just got 2 screws I can undo, slot the thing off. There will be a small hole that goes through into the inside for the sensor, and I'm going to put a plug on that. It means I can pull this off, take it inside, reprogram it easily. Banana plugs, I've found they work very well in the weather, and that there's not too much to go wrong with them, and they're easy to replace. So banana plugs it is, and I can't get the things backwards with the rectifier in here. Alright, so I cast a little ingot out of some white metal, which is 98% tin. This is bearing metal from the Orn briquette press bearings. Just heavy enough. I'm going to drill that, tap it with a 3mm tap, and install it. Alright, we have our weighted flap. I put the number back on after a bit of a polish and a bit of an adjust because it clashed with this. Whatever, I've just got word that I'm getting called away to another thing that could take several days. So I think this is going to get put back on the pedestal. We're going to call this a part 1, and we'll be back for part 2 when I hook everything else up, and like the sensor switch, and I work out the coding. Anyway, so go put it back on the pole. Alright, painted the top of the pole too, just to help with the rust and corrosion. Now, we've got our 2 mounting bolts here. We need to sort of roughly eyeball at least one of them, such as that one. Might be able to get away with, drive that in the hole, line the second one up. I'm standing in the doorbell at the moment. That's also setting things off. Okay, now we've got to put the nuts on at the bottom. See if I can reach around and find some nuts. Alright, I think I found a bolt at least. There's one. And here's like another one. These are a little bit sharp. I might flip them around the other way around now that I've shortened them. See how we go with that. But for now, I am now against the pump, or under the pump. So, it is on. Need our special tool to lock it. Right. One of the other things I did do is I oiled the latch, so it moves a lot more smoothly. Right, so at the moment, the door's shutting comfortably. That's okay. That will work. The flap's around enough. I will figure the switch out later in part 2. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again in another video.